Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to talk a little bit about engines again. I've been getting a ton of comments and emails about engines. We're going to go over that 360 just a little bit. And one more time I am going to go over rear main seals. Since I had that trouble and I put that video out, probably about 50 different guys have contacted me saying they're leaking too. I've got good rear main seals, I've got bad rear main seals. I'm going to show you a quick way you can test and see if you've got old inventory or new inventory. We'll go over that a little bit. Over the weekend, I kind of keep my finger on the pulse of automotive machine shops through ERA, the Automotive Engine Rebuilders Association, and just keeping your ear to the ground. And so many machine shops have given up over the weekend, closed their doors. From coast to coast, east to west, north to south, these guys are leaving the industry so fast, it's scary. Parts problems seem to be the reason most guys are leaving. I know exactly what they're talking about. Parts are getting ridiculous and terrible, and nothing's fitting anymore, and there's real trouble in the parts. Some guys are fed up and they have closed their doors. Many different shops over the weekend. A couple I've talked to said, yep, that's the end of it. They're not even finishing customer work. They informed all their customers, come get their stuff, they've had enough, and they're quitting. The amount of engines that I get asked to rebuild daily, weekly, monthly is staggering. I cannot keep up with it. Something's got to change. At this particular point, I don't think I can expand. I don't have any skilled labor in my area that wants to work. So things are going to change around here as well. But I'm going to do what I can for the time being while I still can. Unfortunately, my back is still a little messed up, so I'm not moving as fast as I can. I'm not lifting up blocks, and I'm not throwing cranks in right now. It's just too painful on the back. So I'm trying to get better and get these engines done. I did manage to get a crank ground for Ron's engine. We'll take a look at that when we talk about rear main seals. And I got a lot of questions on the 360. We're going to go over that first. And I'll show you what I put into that. So hang in there and watch the video, and there's good rear main seal information in here. Just watch the whole way through. Okay, let's head back in the shop and I'll show you some different engines. Okay guys, here's the 360. I've got it just on a cart. I've got all the holes plugged up here. You can see with some cloths and sheets and stuff. It's ready to bolt on the flywheel. The T18 transmission is sitting right here. Transfer case, everything's ready to go there. The clutch is sitting in the box. A few guys are wondering what kind of parts went into this, and I'm going to go over and show you what I actually put into this guy. Remember, this was a 93,000 mile Jeep. The bore was good. Crank just needed a polish. And I put in a honing tank and I honed it. The bore is perfect, crank is perfect, and we'll go over the actual parts that went into this guy. And one thing I like to do, you saw me do it on this one, is the oil line to the rear. That is under the intake manifold. I consider that necessary in every AMC 304, 360, 401. There's a new fan clutch. I had to put a new power steering pump on there. The old one was leaking. The tube in the back was broken. I got a top mount alternator with the new mount kit on there. That's a 100 amp alternator. And the alternator was down low when there was an air conditioning compressor, but we're not putting air conditioning on this one, or not the factory air that came on this. So let's go over the parts, and we'll talk about what's inside this engine. Okay guys, here's some parts that I threw in this guy. Let's start out with the camshaft. You saw me put the cam in here. It was a disaster. It was too big. Comp cams. This is a 2132 camshaft. Nothing crazy. But I did have to fit that to the block. Edelbrock timing chain set. No, excuse me guys. No. Okay. 7818 timing chain. I like the Edelbrock one. It's good quality. You watched me put the intake gasket down. I do that different than most people. I use the Ultra Seal gaskets. I don't use the Edelbrock ones, the thin ones. You saw me put that down. You know, I always use ARP bolts. ARP, this is 114-3602 head bolts. This is the way to go. Always now, I use fail-safe thermostats. Motorad. This is a 180. Whenever you are doing an AMC, MSD makes this, there's other companies that make it. That's your distributor gear, and this is going to be your cam gear. That's already in there. Make sure those are matched. Make sure they're matched. If they're not, you will eat up one or the other. Normally the distributor gear gets eaten up. I've seen it happen a lot of times. Spend the money and get a matched set of gears. Now I got a brand new distributor, HEI distributor, and I'm taking that gear off and I'm putting the MSD. Make sure these are matched. Make sure you use the lube when you start it, and you won't have any trouble. This is the alternator. CVF. These guys are making good stuff out there. They got a super nice alternator bracket kit. Always a new oil screen pickup. That's critical. That goes in there. There's brand new lifters in there. Speedy sleeve for the harmonic balancer, the front crank seal there. It's critical. I got stock pistons. Sealed power rings are in there. I got all new push rods. I got all new rocker arms. I got all new bridges. I have all new main bearings, rod bearings. You know, you guys start to add this stuff up, you see why engines are getting so expensive. The cost of parts are getting through the roof. And you saw me put in the line to the rear. Absolutely critical on these engines. I mean, don't not do this. Put an engine together and then a little way down the road complain that you got bearing scuffing and stuff like that. This is a necessity, is what I think. Intake manifolds, there's a million different ways guys are putting them on. Some guys are putting a Valley pan and Edelbrock gaskets. You saw me put it down. It's a proven technique. Do whatever you like, but make sure you have a pan on the bottom of your intake manifold, or you will suck all the oil out of your engine right through the PCV valve. It'll go right through your carburetor. It'll be smoking down the road. There is a oil pump timing gear kit in there. There's everything in there to make a long-lasting engine. Guys, don't skimp on putting good parts in your engine. Camshafts are a whole other deal there, and they're just a disaster these days, but put good stuff in your engine and it'll last a long time. Okay guys, before we move on to the next engine, I just want to show you the carburetor we're using on this 360. This is an Edelbrock 1405, 600 CFM, and with a manual choke. On any carburetor I always get a manual choke. I like to have complete control of the choke with a cable rather than an automatic choke. So anytime at all, you'll find on my vehicles there's going to be a manual choke. I like to be connected, like I say, to the vehicle. So that's going on. I don't have that on yet. We've got an air cleaner right there, 4-barrel intake from Edelbrock. There's a lot on that engine, and like I say, if you guys just sit there and take all these part numbers and add them up, you'll see the cost of what engines cost these days. They are getting kind of crazy. I do have some Doug Thorley headers. I've got good header gaskets. I'll show you that when I put them in. The T18 is already rebuilt and already has the 208 transfer case attached to it. I put the advanced adapters kit in there a while ago. When I'm feeling better, I'm going to connect the two of them. We'll pull the cab off the J truck and we'll get this stuff sitting in the chassis. Okay, let's go take a look at the crankshaft I just got finished for Ron. Okay, Ron, I'm making progress on your engine. Here is a crankshaft. I've been saving this crankshaft for myself for a long time. I was going to put it in one of my builds, but you've taken such a beating on your engine there, I decided to use it in your engine. This is a real nice crank. I grounded the mains are 10 under, and the rods I polished. They're standard. They're absolutely perfect at 1 inch, 9/37.5. All of them. Your rear main seal area there, I kind of polished that best I could. Exactly 2 inches, 3/10. Your other one was way undersized, and that was going to cause a problem. This is very, very good. You did have 10 under main bearings. I did have to get you some standard rod bearings. They should be here soon. And I still have to drill the crank for your bolts. And I'll get to that soon. And then it won't be long. We'll start assembling your engine. It shouldn't be long from there. Okay guys, we're looking at some rear main seals. This is the one that failed on me in my last engine. This is the one that Ron sent me for his engine. And this is a brand new, fresh one that I got from Pete DeBella. Now Pete buys a lot of these, so I thought he had all the right ones in stock. Here's the thing. The Best Gasket made these gaskets for a long time. They were making the wrong ones. Now all the manufacturers, or not manufacturers, all the dealers that put these on their shelves are still selling the wrong ones. They don't know, I don't think they care, they're just selling rear main seals. This is what I found out. I'm going to try and measure one of these and show you on the camera. I don't know if I'm going to get that zoomed in. If you measure the cross section, this is the one that failed on me. .354.5. Okay, just lightly put your calipers on that. Okay, that's .354.5. Here's the one that Ron sent to me. I don't know where he got this from, but I imagine it's from an old dealer. Let me just get that on there. I can't get you into focus here. .340. Okay, that's from Ron. Now I'm gonna go get one I just got from Pete, and we confirmed that these are better. He talked to the Best Gasket people. Just gonna squeeze that gently. Boy, this is hard to do. Okay. That's 382. If you're down, I know it's hard to see. I'm working the camera alone. Maria's back at work now, so I don't have everybody working the camera. The one that failed on me, cross section, here to here, 353. Ron sent me some. Cross section 340. Okay, I had Pete go through his inventory and measure a bunch of them for me. Cross section here 382. Okay, there's a big difference. I know it's hard to see in the camera, but if you put one up against the other, there's a big difference in them. Okay, Measure them before you put them in. If you think you got a bad one, don't put it in. You know, and then put it in and try your crank in there, and make sure it's gonna hit all around. Like this one that failed on me. This was kind of loose up in the cap in the block there. I was getting kind of lazy, I guess. I didn't check it as good as I should have, and it bit me in the ass. Measure your rear main seal, put it in the block, put your crank in there, make sure it's hitting all around, and you shouldn't have any leaks. Now, I didn't have any other Best Gasket seals to fix that engine I had, but I had some old Crown seals. I'm going to show you the difference in those and why it worked for me. Okay guys, here is a Crown rear main seal. You see it's a completely different shape than the Best Gasket. Now for a long time Crown was making these too tight, and the crank would be spinning on them and they would melt right out of the engine. They had it right on some of the older ones, and this is old stock, what I have here right now. And like I say, I try them on the mandrel. If they fit good, that's great. Nice thing about these is they have an extra lip on them, and they can't flex up and leak. When these work, they work good. If you have some of the ones that are too tight, you will smoke them right out of your motor, and that's not good. So the rear main seals in these old guys is a real pain. Nobody really gives a, you know, nobody really cares about these old engines. They're just not that popular. You know, they're not selling as much as they are for modern engines. So be very careful with the rear mains. If you don't feel good about using a neoprene one, you could always put a rope seal in there. I don't care for the Best Gasket rope seals. If you are going to put one in, I like the Felpro ones. That's just my personal preference. You guys could do what you want. The Felpro ones are better, and I even still have some stock of old asbestos gas rear main seals that I use when I really don't want to leak. So I know they aren't used much these days, but I still do have a bunch of them, and they will last forever. But be very careful when you're putting your crankshaft in these days. You don't want to get a fully assembled engine and have it leak on you. Okay guys, I just want to show you on Ron's crank here. I got his old crank, the one that he got from that other machine shop right here. And you remember this one? Remember that shucked all around there? Okay, there it is on that new crank. Try and get you in there. The whole crank is moving. We got no play in that. We got just about 4.5 thousandths in between there. And like I say, the spec is 4 to 10. And we can try that cap on all of them. And that's what a properly ground crank, that's how a rod should fit on a properly ground crank. Never should they be moving around like that. Oop. You got a noise in your engine you just can't find? Check your rods on your crank. If the last crank grinder screwed it up like that, then you're going to have trouble. That crank is no good right now. It's not worth welding these up. You'd put so much heat into it and stuff, it wouldn't be worth it. But Ron, I just want to show you what you're getting. Had you brought your engine here the first time, we probably wouldn't have had all that expense of the first machine shop, but yeah, live and learn, I guess. I have the main bearings, and I'll be setting your crank in shortly. And like I say, the engine shouldn't take too long after that. Transmission transfer case are already done for you, Ron, so hopefully we'll have this guy in the stand soon. Okay guys, as time allows, I'm buttoning up the 360. And we're making progress on that. That shouldn't be too much longer. Hopefully we'll have this in the truck soon. I got to finish up that 66, but then I'm going to get on the J truck and try and get this engine and stuff in there and get everything started and figured out and stuff. But you see the state of affairs that engine rebuilding is in. If anybody's following it out there, you know that a lot of shops are dropping out and stuff. And just want to bring it to your attention. Please, guys, be careful who you choose for a machine shop. I know there's a lot of good machine shops still left out there, but they're going so fast, it's scary. So you've seen enough of my videos. If you've been following my videos, you know what to ask a machine shop. You know what they should do for you. So just be careful out there and choose your machine shop carefully. And we're going to end this one here today. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.